Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this beautiful Monday. It's November 1st, about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We are at Bayview Avenue and Front Street East. So this is as far east as Front Street goes. And today we are going to be walking westbound on Front Street. Front Street is a east-west thoroughfare, the lower part of downtown. Now, this part of Front Street is not really that busy, but once we get a little bit more central into downtown core, it's a pretty busy street. I apologize for any wind noise. It is pretty windy out here today, but it is gorgeous. Now looking up, and yonder you can see, hopefully, the CN Tower. This is a very newly developed area. I was down here a few weeks ago, and I filmed Corktown Commons. To be a really desolate industrial site down here, and thankfully it is opening up to more residential and commercial sites. I haven't, this is my first time down walking along this route. It is so developed. 8 years ago, there was hardly anything here. It was industrial, it was ugly, it was scary. Well, it looked scary because it was so desolate. That's facing south. And you can see, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but there are GO train cars just stationed down at the tracks. So according to what I'm reading, it says Front Street it was first laid out in 1796, and the street is one of the original streets of the town of York. And the street was laid out along the shoreline of Lake Ontario as it existed during that time. Wow, there's more construction going on here. Look at that. Wowza, wowza. And it also states that it remains an important street in the city with many important uses located along this route. So it passes along the St. Lawrence Market, the Sony Center for the Performing Arts, Union Station, and the Metropolitan Toronto Convention Center. I don't think we're going to get as far as the convention center this walk, but we will walk to Yonge. Now, I remember when this road, it did exist. It wasn't sort of like this cobblestone, I guess, for lack of a better description, type of road. It was just, you know, a regular tarred street. And I remember this building here, and there was a few, some of these buildings you can see are older. Oh wow, look at these gorgeous dogs. Oh, look at the puppies. Oh, can't resist. I know you can't resist either. You gotta look at them too. Yeah, so we used to come cycling around here, and we used to come on the weekends cycling downhill here. And although these buildings were here, they were not in as good condition as they are today. You know, they've been looked after. This is Cannery House. And right across the street, that used to be a restaurant, and it was sort of a bit of a dingy, sort of divey restaurant. But this whole area is being really well maintained and rebuilt up. Anyhow, we used to cycle along this route and come down here to get down to Cherry Beach. Yeah, this is a whole new neighborhood than what I first discovered, probably 20 years ago. Okay, and we are still walking westbound on Front Street. Yeah, as I mentioned, we'll stop at Yonge, and that is going to be right on the very east side of the Dominion Public Building, which is it's a federal government building. I'm pretty sure it's federal, not provincial. But it is a beautiful building. It's sort of curved, I think, but we'll look at it when we get there. So again, more construction happening here. Like there's a site across the street. Oh, it looks like a deep dig. Let's just go across the street and have a look and see. Okay. Oh yeah, it's not too deep at this point, the dig, but you can see. I'll quickly do a peek in here before they kick me out. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Hopefully we get a lot more residential, because the city certainly needs it. Hope everybody enjoyed a nice weekend and a good Halloween. Yet another Halloween. Now, I'm sure the stores are, if not already, if they haven't already started prepping for Christmas. There seems to be a little prep for Halloween, and then Christmas, the stores just go all out. We're at Trinity Street now. And that's distillery just beyond. You're not going to really see it, but just right at the end of this road here, which is Trinity Street, is the distillery. So really cool shops in there, and it's really festive during the Christmas period. So the Christmas before the pandemic, so December 2019. A friend and I met down at the distillery. I think it was about a week before Christmas, just to do some last minute shopping. And I remember it being really cold that day. But I also remember going in to warm up with a hot chocolate in one of the cute little cafes that they have located in the distillery. But there were Christmas carolers, and it was like an open market with artisans selling their wares, as well as the shops, you know, the indoor shops that were busy with Christmas shoppers. So I'm hoping it would be nice to be able to do that again this Christmas. We shall see. So this is a police station, I think. Yeah, Toronto Police. Nice building, huh? Isn't that beautiful, the architecture? So I went out to record last week, I think on Friday. And so I went out and I did a walk. And then found out that after I had completed my walk and got home, that I didn't have my camera set on video. It was set on photograph. So there was one image. Well, that really kind of bugged me that that happened. Because I wasted a walk, but, well, I didn't, because I certainly, you know, any excuse to go out for a walk. So I enjoyed the walk, but I was sorry that I couldn't upload a video. But I'll do it again. I'll do it again this week sometime. I think that's happened to me a couple of times only since I started my YouTube channel, where I've gone out for a walk and thought I was recording. In fact, I didn't. The first time that happened was when I was trying to record the Kensington Market area. I think that was in early spring. I had just started my YouTube channel and I ran into the Great Ken Continuum, and I was so pumped to publish that video, only to find out that I didn't record. It was a real drag. And I think it happened one other time, maybe, other than my last Friday video. Oh, this is nice. This building too is lovely. Wow, this is nice. Oh, there's two buildings here that look very similar. There's just one just further south, right beside it. Let's see if there's a name to this building as we continue to walk westbound on front. Well, I think what might have once been windows, like if you look here and you look at the very top just above, so the brick color is also different. This is newer, this is definitely older, so I have a feeling that these were once actual windows that have been bricked up. What is this? Canadian Opera Company. The Canadian Opera Company, that's what this is. Huh. I've never been to this facility. So it used to be Consumers Gas Company Purifying House, 1888. Designed in the Renaissance Revival style by architects Strickland and Simmons. This building was part of a major expansion of the Consumer Gas Company manufacturing plant. The final stages of coal gas production took place in the Purifying House, where impurities were removed from the gas prior to its sale for heating and lighting. So gas production ceased at this facility in the 50s, and in 1985 the building was adapted for use by the Canadian Opera Company. Well, I didn't know this existed. I mean, I've been to the Opera House, the one on Avenue Road, but I've never been to this one. So here you can see where the windows are. Wow, I did not know this existed. You can see what a big opera fan I am. Not. Oh, another heritage building. And right across the street is a Dollarama. What a contrast. And here we are coming upon the Toronto Sun location. Across the street, the Toronto Sun. Oh, it looks like there's a notice for demolition or a rebuild. Actually, I'm not terribly surprised, because if you look at this building, it's a low rise. It has a high rise in the back, but yeah. Low rises are ceasing to exist in Toronto downtown, as in a lot of Toronto areas. Understandably so. So as I mentioned at the beginning of our walk, where I started on Front Street, it was pretty quiet. There's not a lot of street traffic there. And here, as we get further into the downtown core, it definitely gets busier. Here's another residential, probably residential commercial site going up. It's a biggie. It is wide. And I know this building's been here since I've been in Toronto. Oh, it's nice to be protected from the wind with this covering over the sidewalk due to the construction that's going on right now just behind this wall. This should be Sherbourne, I think. Let's see. Yeah, this is Lower Sherbourne. So we're on Front Street East. So on the south side of Front Street, it says that it's Lower Sherbourne Street. And on the north side of Front Street, it just is called Sherbourne Street. So David, my husband, and I are watching a series on, I don't know, it's on Netflix or Crave or, well, you know, one of those pay TV shows, TV stations rather. Anyhow, it's called Rust. It stars Jeff Bridges. And he plays a Well, it's a I think an 8-part series. We just watched part 7 yesterday, and it takes place, I think, in Pennsylvania. I think the state of Pennsylvania. I could be mistaken. And it's a little town called Buell, and Jeff Bridges plays the sheriff of the town, who was once a law enforcement office, I think, in the big city. And sort of as you watch each episode, it uncovers sort of why he moved to this little town called Buell. And it talks about some of the residents in this town. It talks about a murder. And it's like peeling back the onion. Like every episode, something interesting is uncovered. So you just, you know, it ends right at the most inappropriate time, you know, because you're totally hooked in. And then it, you know, ends. We're always, darn, I can just give us 5 more minutes. So we always look forward to seeing the next episode. So it is juicy, so it's a crime. You know, it's a bit bleak. That's the kind of shows I like to watch. So it is a crime story, and it's dark and bleak, but it's interesting. And like some Hollywood productions, you know, you sort of can predict what's happening. You know, you enjoy still watching it, but you sort of know what's going to happen. This wasn't that telling, which I appreciated. We both appreciated that. Now we're going to be coming across a Flatiron building, which is just up ahead. We're at George Street South. Now the Sony Center for Performing Arts, I think, is coming up. Probably another block or so. I remember when it was the Hummingbird Theater, but I think that was the name of it 30 years ago, or maybe it was because since I've been here, it has changed names. This is the 3rd name that I've known it to be as the Sony Center, but it has had at least two names earlier. Here we are, we're at Lower Jarvis Street. We're now coming upon the St. Lawrence Market. I'm gonna hustle so I can make this walk. Now I haven't been to the St. Lawrence Market since, of course, before the pandemic. I'm not sure if it's open on Saturdays. Oh, maybe. I do see movement. I do. And I remember across the street used to be just I think a 1-story building that was also part of the St. Lawrence Market, and it was mostly produce. And then, and of course, the St. Lawrence Market is where they had cheeses and meats and produce as well, but a lot more different types of products from local farmers. Well, actually, no, across the street when it was the 1-story, it was primarily local farmers that would come in for the weekend to sell their goods. I had a lot of fun experimenting with edible flowers and some neat produce that I only got from the St. Lawrence Market, or I only discovered there. So that was a welcome. When I first moved to Toronto, I used to come down here quite a bit and walk along Front Street because I loved the architecture of these buildings so much. And they had very cute little shops, sort of you know, mom and pop type shops. Yeah, this is nice. Yeah, some fun wares. Yeah, home goods stores, clothing stores. And I didn't have much money, of course, you know, I didn't have a lot of money just to spend on cute things. But I used to come and do a lot of window shopping. And just a good way to spend my Saturday. I used to walk down here, that's why I lived on Broadway Avenue, so I'd walk down here and snoop around and then walk home. And that was my day, and I absolutely loved it. And then go out for dinner with a friend or friends in the evening. So here is the Flatiron Building. And this is a nice building. Local flavor since 1988. That must be the store. Okay. I may have just had to cut out a piece there, folks. So if you're noticing a bit of a disconnect during this filming, it's because I had the camera flipped around and facing my chin, which is, you know, nothing to look at. Here we are at Front and Church. Okay. Now, if I remember years and years ago, right downstairs at the Flatiron Building, there used to be like a jazz club, pub kind of thing. Not sure whether it still exists or not. Just across the street. Right on the corner there, going downstairs. Remember there used to be a run that used to start here around this location right across from this little dog statue park. A run used to start here. I can't remember which run it was though. And we would run east and then down south, I think, just around that where the lights are, just at this corner that we just crossed over. I can't remember what it was. I don't think it was a marathon. I think it was a... What was it now? Don't remember. Anyhow, I don't know if they still do it because it's so busy down here. And that park was always there, but it didn't always have the dog figurines. Let's do a quick little scan. As I jaywalk. This is so cool. I love it here. Such an appreciation for the little bow wows. Look at the pugs. This looks like a retriever. Now they're all staring up above at the very top. Hopefully the camera will pick it up. It's a bone. We're all hoping to get that bone. Oh, and here's, oh, Hi, little kitty. That would be a big cat. Big cat. Looks like a German Shepherd. Wow. Look at this guy. St. Bernard, maybe? St. Bernard? Possibly. His head's a little bit out of proportion, I think. But none the same. Still a perfect depiction of the furries. Gorgeous. Okay, let's continue. What does it say here? I'm going to do another jaywalk. Don't tell anyone. So one way, and I'm still looking at both sides. Here, the St. Lawrence Center for the Arts. So when was the last time I was here? Gosh. What did we see here? Oh, Stuart McLean, for those of you who may remember Stuart McLean. He did The Vinyl Cafe on CBC, I think Sunday mornings. And he's put out some recordings, like stories. And I remember one story in particular. It was, oh darn it, what was it called? Anyhow, it's about a family. He talks about the family. What was the, oh man, I'm annoyed that I don't remember it. And yeah, it was Dave was the father's name. There were two children and the mother, and I forget her name. Maybe that'll come to me. Anyhow, so there's this one particular story that is just fabulous, and we listened to it for the first time on Christmas Day years and years ago. And it was about Dave being responsible for the Christmas dinner, and that was not his normal thing. You know, that was usually his wife's job, but for some reason he had to do it. Anyhow, as the story unfolds, and Stuart McLean is a wonderful storyteller, it just, you were, you know, on pins and needles. It was almost cringeworthy, some of the things, some of the antics that occurred. It's so good. If you have an opportunity and if you're interested, look for Stuart McLean, and I think it's called A Christmas Day, or something to do with Christmas dinner or something. Anyhow, this is now called the Meridian Hall. It used to be called, I remember, as the Hummingbird Theater. And that was the Sony Center, I think. Oh, so it's had a few different names. Yeah. Oh yeah, this is now called the Meridian Hall. Meridian Hall. Gee, it seems to change every few years, the name of this site. And here we are at Yonge Street. And this is the government building that I mentioned earlier. And it is really a really beautiful building. You can see. And you can see how it curves around. Anyhow, I think this is as good a place as any to conclude today's video. We'll pick up a Front Street walk at a later date. Thank you very much for joining me. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I hope you enjoyed this walk. And if you are a subscriber, thank you again for joining me. And I certainly appreciate your subscription and your views. And I wish you all a great day. This is Boomer Girl Walking, signing off.